I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright. I'm sorry for what my sister said. I didn't know. I never knew that the SL9 incident was just another name for the Joe Dark killings.
Sounds like everyone's heard about these killings but me.
Lana wanted Dark convicted so badly. That's why she used me. That's why she used what happened to me.
What do you mean? What happened to you?
It's all there in the file. Joe Dark's last victim was Prosecutor Neil Marshall. When he murdered Officer Marshall's brother, he left behind an incriminating piece of evidence.
But what did you have to do with those killings, Emma?
On the night Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered, Joe Dark tried to kill me.
What? He tried to kill you? I didn't see that one coming.
It happened 2 years ago, and it was right about this time of year, too. There was a terrible thunderstorm that day. Unusual for the season. I was alone in my sister's office. We were planning to eat dinner together once she finished her work when suddenly this terrifying man came bursting into the office.
Joe Dark.
It seemed like he was running from someone. He pulled out a knife and screamed at me. I didn't know what was going on. Then Prosecutor Marshall showed up. Officer Marshall's brother, Neil, was only trying to save me. Joe Dark tried to take me hostage, but Mr. Marshall tackled him. Then...
What happened?
I'll never forget it. Lightning struck and the lights went out. Suddenly a bolt of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting up the office for an instant. What I saw then burned a permanent picture in my mind. I can still see it now.
What did you see?
Dark knocked down Mr. Marshall and raised his knife.
Neil Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl.
I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently I passed out. When I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms.
Poor Emma. You've been through so much.
I couldn't bring myself to testify about that instant. I tried, but the words just wouldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good.
2 years ago. You must have been 14. That's understandable.
Once it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I'd become a scientific investigator. I want to be able to fight crime with my testimonies and find the evidence to make an airtight case. That way, Lana would never have to forge any.
I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick. But you can't blame yourself for not being able to deal with such a serious event.
It's not like I saw the graphic details, though. And I don't even remember the moment when Dark stabbed Mr. Marshall.
So you weren't able to testify about that?
No, I was only asked about when I was attacked. That must be why she made up the crime.
Made it up? You mean provided bogus evidence?
The prosecutor's office wanted that guilty verdict so badly. Lana forged the evidence and Mr. Edgeworth used it.
Edgeworth used it?
Yes, but I'm sure he didn't know anything about it. He couldn't have known he was being given false evidence. Even so, that's when it all started. The rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, I mean. It's all my fault. If I could have just testified properly, none of this would have happened.
So it's true, even though he may not have known it. Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying evidence.
After that case ended, Lana was never the same. She became cold, like she is today.
She must not have been able to face up to what she did. Especially not to Emma. There's something that's puzzling me, Emma.
What is it?
You said you were in Lana's office at the time, right?
That's right.
Why then would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but he was being chased by a prosecutor?
Oh, there's no mystery there. Joe Dark had been taken in for questioning that day.
Taken in for questioning? You mean by the police?
Of course. This happened at the police department. He tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled into my sister's office.
Why did he run all the way over to your sister's office?
Because the detective offices and the questioning room are right across from the elevator.
Across from the elevator? But Lana was the chief prosecutor, wasn't she?
No, silly. Didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective. She was the best in the entire force.
That's news to me!
After the Joe Dark case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor.
Lana used to be a detective. I'd better have another talk with her about that case then.
Mr. Wright, it seems I keep causing you trouble.
Falsifying evidence? I didn't think you were the type.
Criminals don't mind playing foul, why should we?
But Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty.
Believe me, I understand the risks.
Lana, Ema told me about you.
Oh? What exactly did she tell you?
You were a detective 2 years ago, and the SL9 incident was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office.
That's right.
Could you fill me in on the details? Especially about that unusual change of jobs.
I suppose you have a right to know, Mr. Wright. It's true. I was a member of the police force 2 years ago.
She was amazing! They still talk about all the cases she and Chief Gant cracked together.
Chief Gant?
Then he was the vice head of criminal affairs, but he still worked the crime scenes. Damon Gant. He was everything I aspired to be.
They were the best team ever! They solved crimes before the report could even be filed.
Ema really idolizes her big sister. But now you're chief prosecutor. What happened?
I always planned on becoming a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was to gain experience
investigating crime scenes, so you could later use that experience in court.
Gant's help in the SL9 case was critical in its resolution. After that, he became chief of police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office.
Is there anything you can tell me about the SL9 incident?
2 years ago, I was second in command of the detectives investigating Dark.
Second in command? That means the chief detective was no doubt Damon Gant.
Yes. Detective Gant and I shared the same office and the same investigations.
Even had the same office?
We led a team of the best detectives on the force. Detective Goodman, whose case it was, Jake Marshall, and Angel Starr. It was the first time Detective Marshall worked with his brother, and he was quite gung-ho. We were certain without a doubt that Joe Dark was the serial killer we were investigating, so we asked him to come in for questioning. We were desperate for evidence. And that was when the last murder took place.
When he tried to murder Ema.
And the first person who happened upon the scene of the final crime was me.
Now you tell us!
Detective Gant and Prosecutor Marshall were the ones questioning Dark that day. The investigation was in its final stages when Dark must have panicked. He waited until Gant and Marshall let their guard down and then fled the room. From there, he ran straight to the office shared by Detective Gant and myself.
That's where he found me.
So, you were the first person to run to the scene, Lana?
It appears so. I was filing some papers while Gant and Marshall were questioning Dark. When I returned to my office, I saw 3 bodies on the floor and smelled blood.
3 bodies? Prosecutor Marshall, the victim, Ema who passed out,
and the suspect, Joe Dark. During the struggle, it seems Mr. Marshall struck a final blow before he died. Joe Dark had incurred a minor concussion and lay unconscious.
What did you do?
To be honest, I panicked. I picked up Ema, carried her out of the room, and just held her.
Can't blame her there.
After that, I placed Dark under immediate arrest.
All the people from that case are somehow involved in this case. It's way too coincidental to be an accident. Let me get this straight. You were all involved in the SL9 incident?
That's right. Quite a coincidence,
I don't buy it.
What are you saying?
There's no way everyone involved in this trial was also involved in that incident just by chance.
That case was solved 2 years ago.
At least one person went to extremes because they didn't believe it was truly solved.
Officer Marshall. Yes, his actions came as a surprise to me as well. Ever since his brother died, he's changed completely.
I guess he wasn't convinced with the ruling against Joe Dark.
Life doesn't end with the closing of a case. Everyone has to live the rest of their lives with their memories.
That case just might not be over yet.
What?
Ema was assaulted by Dark at the police department, right?
Yes, in the office that Damon Gant and I shared. The office that Mr. Gant now occupies by himself. The chief's office.
Maybe we should have a look at the chief's office. The site of the final SL9 murder.
Howdy, Bambina.
Oh, Mr. Marshall.
I never thought things would turn out this way when I woke up this morning. Que sera. You never know where life will lead you, eh, Bambina? I should have known my luck had run out when old Billy dried up this morning.
Billy?
Must be his pet cactus? Where are you headed?
Just over to the prosecutor's office for a little interrogation. It's a voluntary appearance, but we all know I won't be coming back. Sorry, but you can't go in the evidence room today, partner.
Mr. Marshall, why did you do it?
Why do prospectors head west? If there was ever a case I needed to know the truth about, it was that one.
Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall, would you mind telling us exactly what happened?
Looks like I won't be getting a steak lunch today.
Thank you. To begin, if it's not asking too much, what can you tell me about your brother?
I got the looks, but he got the brains. Yeah, he was one of the best prosecutors around. I had just made detective when it all went down. It was our first case together.
How old was he? Your brother?
He was 27 at the time, and he had just been awarded the highest honor he could get in his line of work that very day.
The highest honor? You don't mean...
King of prosecutors.
Oh, not that again.
It was drizzling that morning, and by nightfall there was thunder. I can't believe 2 years have gone by already. I tried to steal the evidence so the case wouldn't die.
Apparently, someone tried to stop you. Detective Goodman was murdered and the evidence locker was empty. Is there anything more you can tell me about the Joe Dark killings?
Something was fishy about that trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me either. All the detectives thought so.
What do you mean fishy?
Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the murder weapon.
The murder weapon? The switchblade knife with the broken tip.
That was Joe Dark's knife, all right. But in the initial autopsy report, a question was raised.
What question?
The blade of the knife was not a perfect match with the wound the victim sustained.
What does that mean?
It means that there's a good chance that knife was not the murder weapon. However, in the report that was finally submitted, that possibility had been erased.
Sounds like the facts were concealed with forged evidence.
That case had left behind scars on all of us. There was something going on behind the scenes in that case. We all knew that later on. Every detective involved in that investigation, save one, was taken care of. Miss Starr was fired, and I was demoted and boxed away in a tiny room.
What about Detective Goodman?
If they did something to him, too, the commissioners would get suspicious. No, they were careful enough not to be too obvious.
They?
Who are you talking about?
Don't get too upset, Bambina. I mean Chief Detective Damon Gant and his second-in-command, Lana Skye.
After the case ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, right?
Yeah. Damon Gant, the new chief of police, arranged for that to happen. She's never been the same since she left. Everyone who knew her said so. Chief Prosecutor Skye was totally different when she was a detective.
Now that he mentions it, Ema said something like that too.
Tell me what happened to my sister.
Sorry, Bambina, but her secret is too well guarded. I've never found out. And there you have it. That's my story. Did you enjoy it, partner?
It was certainly enlightening.
There's one thing for sure I found out in court today. That boy Edgeworth isn't my enemy. He was the one who used falsified evidence to get a guilty verdict, but someone else was the one who gave him that evidence and planned everything. That someone is Damon Gant. And if you don't believe me, well, I won't blame you. I won't even be a patrolman after today. Too bad I won't be around to work with you when you become a real scientific investigator. Adios, Bambina.
This place is always pretty empty, but today it's deserted.
That must mean everyone's busy solving crimes.
Oh, if you're looking for the others, they're all in the conference room.
Thanks. Wow, he actually talked to us.
With the chief prosecutor saying what she did, and the decision about what to do about Mr. Edgeworth, not to mention our statement to the media and tomorrow's trial, there's more chaos going on than Thanksgiving and Christmas put together.
Sir? We'd like to have a look around for Chief Gant's office.
Just head across the hall to the other building, and take the elevator to the top floor.
Really? You mean it's okay for us to go in there? I mean, we aren't police officers or anything.
Hey, you're right! You can't go in there, it's off limits!
Now I see where Detective Gumshoe gets his unique charm.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head to the chief's office.
Whoa! Where am I?
In the chief's office, silly. At least, that's what it said on the door.
Check out that pipe organ. That's real, isn't it?
Hey! I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. They used to call me Little Miss Bach. I thought I was a genius until they tried teaching me notes. I never could remember where C was.
Oh, it's you two.
Chief Gant! He put a paper he was reading in his desk.
So, Mr. Wright, have you been swimming lately?
No, I haven't. I've been kind of busy lately.
I can appreciate that. I've had my hands full too with Mr. Marshall's misconduct and Lana's provocative statement.
Provocative statement? Oh, you mean about the forged evidence?
2 years have passed since that incident. My, how time flies. You see that big picture on the wall over there? That's a picture of Lana, Neil, and me.
So this is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Neil Marshall.
We took it to commemorate our work together.
Something's not right with this picture, but I can't quite seem to put my finger on it, though.
Anyway, I'd like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that need my attention. I'm going to lock up here, so let's go out together.
Oh, but this office was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it?
That case has long since been over. There's no need to investigate it anymore.
All the same, we'd still like to have a look around.
Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said there's no need to investigate it anymore.
Whoa!
Now, hurry up and get out. I have a meeting to attend.
Looks like we aren't welcome.
It seems that case isn't over yet after all.
What do you mean?
Chief Gant denied our request to search the crime scene, and I'm willing to bet there's a reason he doesn't want us looking around in there.
You mean like a clue?
There's got to be a way we can get inside the chief's office.
Oh, hey, pal.
Oh, hey there, Detective Gumshoe. Were you in a meeting?
I was, just taking a breather. My feet hurt.
From sitting so long in the meeting?
Actually, I had to serve everyone coffee.
Sounds like Detective Gumshoe's still being left out of the loop.
Say, have either of you seen Mr. Edgeworth?
Edgeworth? No. Why do you ask?
He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecutor's office. Yeah, it's almost like the battles between you two in court.
That sounds serious.
Is it because of what my sister said?
That's basically what it all boils down to. Thanks to that falsified evidence 2 years ago, Mr. Edgeworth has the whole world after his blood.
Yikes.
But why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Lana Skye is the guilty party here, isn't she?
Regardless, the prosecutor is responsible for the evidence he presents in court. Not only that, but as you know, there have been a lot of rumors going around about Mr. Edgeworth. Those who don't like him haven't been able to do anything because of his amazing talent as a prosecutor. But now it is.
Are there really so many people who hate him?
In our world, only those with talent rise to the top. Mr. Edgeworth not only had that, but he's young. There's no better recipe I know of for making enemies. You know, I actually took a look at the file earlier while the coffee was brewing.
He seems genuinely concerned for Edgeworth. Did you find out anything?
The only evidence Doc left behind was during his final attack.
His final attack? You mean when he
killed Prosecutor Marshall, who was trying to protect some girl.
Me.
It seems Detective Gumshoe never realized Ema was the girl.
That's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all.
Wouldn't happen to have been this, would it?
Hey, don't tell me that!
It has a tag attached to it, with the label SL9 incident on it. So it obviously had something to do with all that mess.
Oh, what are you doing with that? Ever since that case was closed, that knife's been locked away in a locker.
On the day Detective Goodman was murdered, this suddenly disappeared from the evidence locker and was found in Mr. Edgeworth's car muffler.
This knife. It was Joe Dark's, wasn't it?
That's right. We traced it back to the store he bought it at. And it had his fingerprints on it, too.
But no one actually witnessed him using it to murder anyone, right?
That's where his luck ran out. When you take a good look at the knife, you'll see it's broken.
You don't have to take a good look to notice that.
Yeah, well, anyway, take a guess where the broken tip of the knife was found. That's what did him in.
Where was it?
It was found deep inside the stab wound of the last victim, Neil Marshall.
Did it match Dark's knife?
You bet. Down to the last fiber.
That's pretty conclusive.
Who exactly was Joe Dark?
Joe Dark was 42 at the time of the crime. He was just a run-of-the-mill businessman.
A businessman? What made him take to serial killing?
One day, on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car.
With his car? So, it was an accident?
An accident, yes, but it transformed him into an animal. He killed a man that witnessed the accident. Then, he killed a lady who saw the second crime. A kid happened to walk by just then, and so he killed him too. Then, when he was burying the bodies, a jogger came upon the scene and was killed as well. Finally, he turned himself in.
Seems he was a pretty careless animal.
And of course, this is all conjecture. There wasn't a single shred of evidence.
But he turned himself in.
Yeah, and in the middle of his questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim. That crime was witnessed by someone too, but fortunately, he was arrested on the spot. It's a good thing that last witness wasn't killed.
The last witness? He must mean Ema.
Well, there you have it in a nutshell. That's all I know.
Can I ask you one more thing?
What is it? Oh, if it's money you need, you should ask Chief Gant.
It's not money, but it does concern the chief. His office, it's a crime scene, right? It's where Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered?
The chief's out now, and his office is locked, but we'd like to have a look around if that's okay.
Well, any detective's ID card can unlock the door.
What? Really?
But if I let a civilian in there, I'd be charged with breach of trust.
Breach of trust?
Simply put, I'd be canned.
Oh.
Sorry, pal. I don't plan on getting fired because of you.
How about this ID card? It was Detective Goodman's.
That won't work either. The data was deleted the day he died.
Oh.
So in other words, Gumshoe is our only chance of getting into that office.
I wonder if there's something we could do that would make him change his mind.
I might know someone who can get him to help. I wonder if he's back yet.
There he is. It looks like he's writing something.
What are you doing here?
He sure was quick to throw that paper on the floor. Tough day in court, huh?
I've had to live the past 2 years with rumors flying around. What's another allegation to me?
Cheer up, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm rooting for you.
So what do you want? Unlike some people, I don't have all day.
Are you up for the trial tomorrow?
First last year's trial and now this one. It seems all you do is worry about me. To be honest, you're getting on my nerves.
But Mr. Edgeworth, you can't just walk out on the trial.
Tomorrow is the last day. It's too late to change prosecutors. I'm sure that's what my superiors are banking on. I just never thought that case would come back to haunt me like this. I should have seen it, though. There were so many red flags.
What do you mean? What red flags?
For starters, the list of evidence. It seemed too short. Most lists run twice as long.
It was only half as long as most lists? That is odd for such a high-profile case.
After Neil Marshall was murdered, I became the prosecutor for that case. I may not have been a part of the investigation, but at the time, there was only one thing on my mind. I'd use the evidence I was given to prove the suspect guilty.
Did you know Neil Marshall at all?
Can't say I did. I doubt I'd recognize his face in a lineup at first glance.
We actually just saw a picture of him taken around the time of his death.
Oh, right. That picture hanging on the wall in Chief Gant's office. It looked like it was taken when he received the King of Prosecutors trophy, but something seemed strange about it.
Speaking of that, there's something that bothers me.
Yes?
The trophy Mr. Marshall was holding. It was a little different than yours. It had another piece on it.
Yes, you're probably right. I remember now.
Remember what?
That was the official prosecutor trophy used until that time. There's a story behind it.
A story?
Sounds interesting. Would you mind telling it to us?
It's simple, really. Contradiction. That's what the award is based on. This award originates from an ancient Chinese tale. In Chinese, the word contradiction is written with two characters. The first means halberd. The second means shield. Have you heard this story?
Me? Sure. Everyone knows that. Why don't you tell it, though? For Emma's sake.
Very well. Long ago, in the kingdom of Chu, there was an arms merchant. One day, he presented the king with two items. The first was a halberd he claimed could slice through any shield or armor. The second was a shield he claimed could withstand any weapon.
Wait a minute. Objection! Those claims contradict each other.
Very perceptive. But then again, you've heard this story before, correct? Anyway, as you mentioned, the very descriptions of these items discredit them both. When the king pointed this out, the merchant was left speechless, and thus the Chinese word for contradiction was born.
Oh, I see. So the chipped shield and the broken knife are symbols from the story.
Precisely so. They symbolize the merchant's items. The ancient tale ends with the merchant at a loss for words, but it's in our nature to pursue matters to their conclusion, even if it results in something as ugly as this.
Wow! Thanks, Mr. Edgeworth. I learned something new today.
That's funny. If that's how the story goes, then why were you only given a shield?
You'll have to ask Chief Gant. 2 years ago, he had the halberd part of the award abolished.
Back to the case, though. Could you tell us again about what happened that day? The day Detective Goodman was murdered. You were participating in a ceremony over at the station, right?
I've never cared for ceremonies, but I had to attend that one.
Because you were being awarded?
Those receiving awards can't exactly skip out on the ceremony. I finished up at the office in the morning, then drove over to the police department.
You finished up at the office?
Yes, just odds and ends. Clerical stuff. I didn't plan on returning to the office that day. That is, until I was asked to take something back.
Take something back? Oh yeah, the screwdriver over on your desk. Chief Gant asked you to hold on to that, didn't he?
Yes, it was a piece of evidence used in a case that was closed a half a year ago. He asked me to bring it back to the prosecutor's office.
Hey, Mr. Wright. Keep him busy, would you? I want to see what's up with that note he was writing when he came in.
So you only came back here to the prosecutor's office because the chief asked you to?
That's right. I didn't have a reason to come back otherwise.
Well, that's definitely, Hey, Edgeworth! Is that Detective Gumshoe out the window there? Oh no! He's falling to the ground!
Hold on. First, let me see what this girl's doing, crawling around my desk.
He didn't even look.
What? Letter of...
If you can't read, I'll read it for you. It says, Letter of Resignation.
Resignation? Edgeworth, you don't mean you're actually going?
I'm tired, Mr. Wright. I feel as if something inside me has died.
Mr. Edgeworth, none of it is your fault.
I know the path I've walked. You don't need to tell me. And the path I've walked hasn't been a just one. I can't forgive myself for what I've done, and no one else should forgive me either.
Uh-oh. I think he's serious.
There's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago, I used false evidence to obtain a guilty verdict. That's what it all breaks down to, and nothing I do can erase that fact.
But you didn't know, did you?
The police department and the prosecutor's office share a bond of trust. If that bond is broken, we stand to lose everything. The police department's error is my error, my responsibility as the prosecutor in charge. That fact remains the same no matter what excuses I might have. I take pride in my work. So tell me why. Why has it all come to this?
Even Edgeworth can't keep this kind of emotion bottled up. But maybe I can use this letter of resignation.
They say where there's smoke, there's fire. Apparently, I was so caught up in the smoke, I lost sight of the truth. The others are right. I have no right to serve as a prosecutor.
But Mr. Edgeworth, you were only doing your job.
I've always made my own decisions about what I can or cannot do. That hasn't changed. Forgiving myself is something I cannot do. If you would, please leave. There's a lot to do before tomorrow's trial, and I have every intention of ending it with as much dignity as I can scrape together.
Due to recent events, I hereby announce my resignation as public prosecutor.
He actually wrote a resignation letter.
Wow! Even when resigning, Mr. Edgeworth is cool and concise. Still, it wasn't his fault.
Someone has to be held responsible. That's how it is in the grown-up world.
Yeah, but that responsibility means nothing if he just quits.
Well, not everyone sees it that way.
To truly take responsibility, you should have to work the rest of your life for no pay.
Sometimes the grown-up world can be tough.
Excuse me? Would either of you care for a quarter pound of roast beef?
Miss Starr! I guess she's out of lunches.
You certainly are the curious sort, aren't you? Kind of like the first person who sucked a cow's nipple to discover milk. Still, I never thought you'd go digging up that case from 2 years ago.
Everyone in this trial was involved in the SL9 incident. Not only that, but the murder occurred on the very day the evidence from the case was due for transferal. This can't all be attributed to mere coincidence.
Aren't you forgetting something? You know, that little scene I happened to witness.
The instant Lana supposedly stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife.
No matter how much of the past you dig up, it won't change what I saw. Roast beef is meant to be savored when eaten.
Miss Starr's hatred towards Lana dates back to 2 years ago, when she supposedly changed. Maybe it's got something to do with that case too? Is there anything you can tell me about the Joe Dark killings?
Joe Dark. That's a name I'll not soon forget. We trailed him for half a year. Oh, the pressure. Still, I don't think I was ever more alive than I was then. Those days were steamier than a bowl of hot gravy. Poor Jake Marshall, though. Must have been going through hell.
You mean because of his brother's death?
They were close, those two. After Neil died, something took over Jake. He became obsessed. Seeing Jake like that made her all the more desperate.
Her?
Lana Skye.
My sister?
Of course. The best of the best were put on that SL9 case. And obviously they were led by that legendary duo.
Lana. And Chief Gant.
2 years ago, Gant was chief detective and Lana second in command. They were the best.
They solved all kinds of cases together, didn't they?
They did. Damon Gant's magnetism in particular was almost unreal.
His magnetism?
By that I mean his ability to attract evidence. He produced the most incredible evidence in the cases he handled.
Incredible evidence? You mean forged evidence?
Oh yes, there were rumors about him even back then. No one dared confront him, though. And then there's her. Everyone looked up to Lana. All the detectives wanted to be like her.
Really?
Oh yes, myself included. I was a fool, really. She hated anything crooked and always watched out for the other detectives. That's why she was so concerned for Jake. When Jake's brother was murdered, she felt as if she had lost her own brother. If it wasn't for her, I don't think Jake would have ever recovered from his shock. That's what makes it all the more infuriating. That's why. I'll never be able to forgive her. Why did she have to turn so cold after that? Anyway, that legendary pair was the reason we were able to keep up our investigation. That's why we're so shocked over how it turned out.
You mean with the forging of the evidence?
Don't get me wrong. Joe Dark got what he deserved. Still, it was obvious that the evidence produced in court was being manipulated. Items our team never found would suddenly appear, while other items were kept secret.
But you didn't have proof anything illegal was done.
I'm proof enough of what happened. After that case, all of us save Goodman were relieved of our duties. Most without even so much as an explanation. Then Lana Skye transferred to the prosecutor's office and became chief prosecutor.
Lana always wanted to be a prosecutor.
Nothing's quite as simple as it appears.
Huh?
Lana Skye was merely being used as a pawn. That's my take on the matter.
She was being used?
Yes. It was thanks to Chief Gant's powerful influence that she was transferred to the prosecutor's office in the first place. Having solved the SL9 case, his position as chief was secured. There was only one thing left for him to control, and then no one could stand in his way. The prosecutor's office.
You think that's why Lana was transferred?
If he could control the chief prosecutor, he could control the prosecutor's office. That must have been his goal all along.
But how could he control Lana?
I don't know. But one thing's for sure. Ever since that case ended, she's never been the same. It's only logical to conclude that there must have been a reason for her change.
At last. I'm finally getting closer to the bottom of this ugly mess. Thank you, Miss Starr.
You listen to me, rookie. It takes more than just ingredients to create fine cuisine. I do hope you turn out to be a better chef than I've been.
Oh, you're back!
You're still here?
I gotta make 150 copies of these files. Brewing coffee, copying files, turning into a regular DJ.
You're a DJ as well?
I think he means desk jockey.
Oh, that DJ.
I gotta admire your persistency, but my answer's still no. I'm not letting you in the chief's office, period. It'd be my neck on the line.
Detective Gumshoe, you should probably take a look at this.
Huh? What's this crumpled up piece of paper? No way! Mr. Edgeworth can't be serious! I can't believe they pushed him this far.
Mr. Edgeworth really feels responsible.
At first, I thought he was cold as ice. But now I know different. He trusted us detectives to provide him with sound evidence, but we betrayed him. That's it. I'd made up my mind. Here, take my ID card.
Can't do that if someone found out.
They wouldn't let you off the hook with another lost item report.
Look at me. It's no secret I'm already out of the loop. After all, I'm friends with Mr. Edgeworth. Depending on how this case turns out, I may already be as good as terminated. So, at least let me do this. For Mr. Edgeworth's sake.
All right, Detective. Thank you.
Detective Gumshoe isn't very photogenic, is he?
Whatever you do, just don't say that to his face.
Look, his eyes are half shut.
Yeah, and his mouth is half open.
Hey! Each of his shirt buttons is off a notch.
And he's got the narrow end of his tie in front. Ugh. I think this goes beyond being a photogenic issue.
This is it. Here goes nothing, Mr. Wright.
Open sesame.
If anyone finds us now...
Detective Gumshoe's a goner.
If that happens, I'm counting on you to bail me out. Ah! Oof!
Sorry! I thought you were a ghost!
I didn't even know you could slap a ghost.
Detective Gumshoe! What are you doing sneaking up on us like that?
I wasn't sneaking. I was just worried something might go wrong, so I came too. I hardly ever get a chance to come in here, so I figured I'd have a look around myself. Besides, we're all in this together now.
You really do want to get fired, don't you?
Not if we're lucky. Now come on, let's see what we can find out.
I've got a bad feeling about this, but there's no time to argue. Let's get a look around. The desk on the other side of the room. Was that your sister's?
Yes. That's where I was waiting for Lana. On that day 2 years ago.
Is anyone using it now?
No, sir. This is entirely Chief Gant's office now. He practices a strict policy of preserving the crime scene.
That's a strange reason to leave it there.
He leaves it as a warning to everyone else. He wants us to always be alert. He told us so himself at our New Year's party. Of course, he was pretty intoxicated at the time.
I see.
So ever since Lana left, no one ever touches that desk?
No one except Chief Gant, as far as I know.
Still, 2 years have passed since that incident. There can't possibly be any clues remaining.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
You only came here to look around, right? Because it's one of the SL9 crime scenes. I mean, that's your only reason for coming here, isn't it?
Why do you ask?
You don't think... nah, you wouldn't be... No, there's no way. Never mind. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Now then, let's look around a bit more.
Hold on, not so fast, buddy.
Huh? What is it?
When someone tells you don't worry about it, it's supposed to start bothering you, pal. You don't just let it go at that.
Sorry. This guy's starting to get on my nerves. Okay, so what's bothering you?
You two don't think Chief Gant might be a suspect, do you?
What? Yeah, Mr. Wright. What do we think of him?
Perhaps it's best I don't divulge my feelings. Yet.
Oh, there he goes, ignoring me again.
So, this was Lana's desk. It sure is tidy.
Lana's always been a meticulous cleaner.
There's not even any dust on it. Looks like someone's still keeping it clean. Does Lana ever come back here?
No. Chief Gant must still keep it clean in memory of their partnership. They were the stuff legends were made of.
Does he keep it in memory of her, or in memory of the crime?
Whoa! Look at this giant window. Makes you want to crash through it and jump outside.
This is the 15th floor.
Yeah, I know. I was just saying.
Saying what?
Ever since making Detective, I've always dreamed about doing something like that.
Note to self. Detective Gumshoe has a lot of dreams.
So long as he doesn't go crashing through the window when he gets fired.
Don't say that!
What's the deal with the organ?
Dunno. Sure is a sight to behold, though. Occasionally we hear him playing it from the Criminal Affairs Department.
That's on the 2nd floor, and this is the 15th!
When a detective screws up, the chief calls him to his office and makes him listen to the organ for hours.
What's so bad about that? Music soothes the soul.
After that, the detective can't hear anything for days except for the ringing in his ears.
So, it's an instrument of punishment. Literally.
But aren't the chief's ears affected?
Yeah, well, he never listens to anyone anyway.
That's beside the point.
Hey, this mark on the floor looks like some kind of flower.
Where it is, it's designed after the insignia on the prosecutor's badge.
Prosecutor's badge?
Yeah, like the one hanging from your collar.
What? They have badges too?
The design's supposed to portray the severity of the punishment system.
Now that you mention it, it does look all pointy and kind of painful.
But Edgeworth never wears a badge.
That's because he's a sharp dresser. A badge like that wouldn't go too well with his outfit.
So sharp dressers don't need to wear badges?
I guess everyone just kinda lets it slide.
I don't see how that's supposed to signify severe punishment. Or fairness.
Wow! Look at the size of Chief Gant's desk.
Speaking of that, when we were here earlier, he stuffed something away pretty quickly. I wonder what he was reading earlier.
This looks like a list of evidence used in a case. Yeah, weird. In most cases, the list runs twice as long as this.
Hey, look at the case name.
Huh? SL9 incident? I wonder what this is doing here.
Hold on, Detective. What did you just say?
I said, I wonder what...
No, about the evidence list. Normally they're twice as long?
That's right. I guess there wasn't a lot of evidence.
A half-size list of evidence, just as Edgeworth said. What would the other half of the list be doing here?
I knew it! The chief must be hiding something about that case.
Would appear so.
Something else is bugging me more than that. Take a look at the back of that form, pal.
The back? Huh. Looks like someone drew some kind of sketch here.
What is it? Did you find something?
I can't make it out. It might not be important, so I'd better keep quiet about it for now. Huh? Oh, no, it's nothing.
Why are your eyes moving about like that, Mr. Wright?
I'd better not forget about this picture. Say, this is the real deal, isn't it? This suit of armor and these weapons?
Sure is, pal. The chief don't care for imitations.
First the pipe organ, now this armor? Do you know how many taxpayer dollars must have gone into this room?
What? You mean we're paying for this? That's it. I'm not paying 1 cent of my taxes.
You don't have any taxes to pay.
Hey, be careful of what you say. Who knows? The chief might be hiding in this armor as we speak.
I don't think he'd fit in there.
Even if he did, he'd never be able to get back out.
Hey, cut it out! You guys don't know how scary that guy can be.
And then there's this safe. The only other thing in here.
Safe. That void is ripe with intrigue.
Okay, if you say so.
It looks like a 7-digit code needs to be entered on this panel to open it.
A 7-digit number. I think I just might know what it is.
Do you know what it is?
I have a hunch.
Oh, I know. You want to try my birth date?
I have a better idea. Here goes nothing. Bingo!
What number did you enter?
Whose birthday was that, pal?
7777777. The final ID card number on that record.
What?
The number of the mysterious executive officer who entered the room that day.
You mean 777777? That ID number?
I think you're 1-7 shy this time. This can only mean one thing. That's Chief Gant's ID number.
Hey, anyone care to look inside the safe we just unlocked?
Is there any money in there? How much does he have stashed away?
Look! It's a
shard from a broken cup?
There's something else here, too.
What's this? It looks like a piece of leather cloth.
This is a handprint on it, isn't it?
Hey, I saw someone wearing a shirt like that once. Hey, you think the chief made up the design?
I don't think so.
Oh, well, it was just a thought.
Is that it? This is all that was in the safe?
Apparently so. It's empty now.
A piece of cloth with a handprint on it and a broken shard from a cup.
They look like pieces of evidence.
But unless you can prove they have something to do with this case, I'm afraid I can't just let you take them. After all, it's my neck on the line here.
Great. Now I have to prove their relevance to get them. How are these two items related to the SL9 incident?
Come on. There's got to be something we can show the detective.
Detective Gumshoe, could you have another look at this jar?
Hey, all of us put that back together. Ah, those were the days.
It's kind of early to be nostalgic.
Wasn't this jar a piece of evidence from that case?
That's right. One of the shards had an SL9 incident sticker on it.
Doesn't this ring any bells? You know, that fragment we just found?
You mean this one that was in the safe?
Yes, that one.
Hey, now that you mention it, it's ringing a lot of bells. Let's see if it fits.
Here, let me see that shard. I'll take a crack at this.
Go ahead, pal. Show us what a rookie can do.
Mr. Wright, here's some glue.
If this piece fits, it'll prove Chief Gant was knowingly hiding evidence. Here goes. There! It fits like a charm! That means Chief Gant willingly and knowingly hid a piece of this jar in his safe. In other words, he concealed a piece of evidence from the SL9 incident.
But...
Hey guys, get a load of this!
What is it?
This piece you just attached. It's different than the others.
there's a reddish line on it.
A reddish line? That's blood!
I don't get it. Why would Chief Gant hide this in his safe?
Detective Gumshoe, I'd also like you to have a look at this.
Hey, fingerprinting powder. So you want to take some fingerprints?
That's a great idea, Detective.
All right, go to town. Sheesh.
What are you doing? Why are you sticking your hand out like that?
Go ahead, take my fingerprints.
It's not your fingerprints we want to take.
Huh?
Ugh, come on. This isn't the time for jokes. We're talking about the cloth we found in the safe.
Oh, I knew that. The one with the handprint on it, right? Sheesh, where's your sense of humor?
Okay, Mr. Wright. Let's check for prints. Sprinkle the powder on the cloth. Then, once they've been absorbed into the prints, blow the rest away.
What are you, my mom? I don't have to be told a million times. All right, let's get this over with.
Now to see if we can find a match. No, that doesn't match.
Wanted to be sure it wasn't the Chief's. Looks like we're out of clues this time.
But it's got to have something to do with that incident.
The one that happened right here in this room. It's our only chance. We should check the fingerprints of everyone who was in here that day.
The way I see it, there's a higher power at work here. You just gotta have faith.
This isn't going so well. What if it actually doesn't have anything to do with the incident after all? What? No. How can this be? What are Ema's fingerprints doing here?
Hey, you found a match? Whose fingerprints were they?
Huh? Oh, it seems the fingerprints are too old. They aren't clear enough to get a match.
Oh, that's too bad. I thought they'd be Dark's prints.
Psst. Hey, you, over here. What's going on here? What are that kid's prints doing inside a Chief's safe?
Don't ask me. Let's just keep this information from Ema for now.
Here. Maybe you should hold on to this stuff.
Thanks, Detective.
Well, was I any help?
Of course. Thanks to your ID card, we were able to get some hard evidence.
Now that's not very kind, is it? In other words, if it wasn't for his ID card, he would have been useless. Isn't that right? You in the coat.
Chief Gant!
We didn't think you'd be back so soon.
Fortunately, I'm a man who believes in signs. As I was walking to my meeting, I happened to look out the window and saw a stray dog run right into a pole. Just then, I thought of a certain detective.
Do you mean me, sir?
Now then, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask all of you to leave.
Yes, sir! Sorry!
Oh, you in the coat.
Me, sir?
Drop off your ID on the way out. You won't be needing it anymore.
But, sir!
Now get out!
Yes, sir!
We'll be on our way too then.
Wait, you. The one without the spiky hair. Don't go yet.
Me, sir?
I'd like a word with you.
But, sir, I'm not a licensed scientific investigator yet.
You with the spiky hair, you're free to go.
Mr. Wright!
Look, pal, if I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times, the chief's office is off limits. But no! You just had to go sneaking in there like that, didn't you?
I thought you said you didn't care anymore if you got fired.
Yeah, but if I knew it'd be like this, I never would have said it.
Now that I've seen the evidence Chief Gant was hiding in his office, I think I'm finally starting to get the picture. It's hard to believe that anyone could keep quiet about it all this time.
Anyway, you listening to me? I'm gonna go try to smooth things over with the chief again. Later, pal.
I just heard from Ema. She said the police want to ask her some questions, so she'll be busy for the rest of the day, which means I'll have to wrap up this investigation without her. I guess it's for the best, though. I don't imagine she'll like the questions I'm going to have to ask Lana.
I see. So the chief asked Ema to come in for questioning.
It's no use thinking about it. Tomorrow is the final day in court. I'm committed to doing everything I can to defend you, which is why I'm here.
But I've already told you all I can.
What you've told me over the past couple of days is absolutely nothing. Not a single useful thing.
Really? I believe I did mention something quite important. Something I told you right at the beginning. I said that I was the one who stabbed Detective Goodman.
You know, I think I've finally figured it out. Who it is you're hiding behind those words?
Mia did a good job mentoring you. I'm rather jealous. It seems Edgeworth was right.
Edgeworth?
Once you're convinced you know something, no one can persuade you otherwise. Thick-headed is the term he used, I believe.
I have to admit, I was more than a little perplexed at first. But you insisted you did it, yet there was no incriminating evidence. It's not that you're unwilling to tell the truth. It's that you're incapable of doing so. Because of a certain individual.
What an intriguing notion. A certain individual, you say. You think I'm protecting this person?
Protecting? No, I think afraid of is more like it. If I'm not mistaken, the person in question may have persuaded you to silence.
For argument's sake, Mr. Wright, whom may I ask is this person you're speaking of? The one I'm supposedly so frightened of. What is this person's name?
Well, Miss Skye?
Mr. Wright, you are addressing the chief prosecutor. Do not forget your place.
I take it she's still not ready to spill the beans.
My apologies. Could you please tell me a bit more about the circumstances that would lead you to think I was afraid of Chief Gant? We were partners until 2 years ago. I respected him as a detective.
Assuming he is respectable, then tell me something. Why would he try to hide his crimes?
His crimes?
Both you and Edgeworth will be brought before a board of inquiry for what you did. Specifically, hiding and forging evidence.
Of course. These are serious offenses.
Why is it, though, that Chief Gant's name was never mentioned? Edgeworth didn't know the truth behind the forgery. The only party who could have possibly investigated that evidence was...
me. I had access because I was second in command of that investigation.
Yes, you, but also one other. Damon Gant.
If you intend to accuse Chief Gant, you'll need more than just words. Show me proof that Chief Gant falsified evidence in that case.
I just found this in a safe in the chief's office. This jar piece and this strip of cloth. Do you know what these are? These are pieces of evidence from the SL9 incident. The person concealing evidence was none other than Chief Gant himself. Now tell me, why are you taking all the blame for him?
Touché, Mr. Wright. It's as you've surmised. I cannot disobey the chief's orders, even if it means being found guilty for murder.
Why not?
Come now, Mr. Wright. You can't possibly expect me to be able to tell you that. 3 days ago, I had no choice but to cooperate.
In the murder of Detective Goodman!
Or perhaps I should say follow orders. Yes, that's more accurate than cooperate. Although I can't tell you the details, I can say that I was given an order that day. I need you to dispose of Bruce Goodman's body. You'll find it inside the trunk of Miles Edgeworth's car.
Just as I suspected. Despite what everyone believes, you were not the one who murdered Detective Goodman.
Correct. I was trying to take the body out of Edgeworth's car. The trunk was broken and I discovered the murder weapon while inspecting the body.
The murder weapon? You mean Edgeworth's knife?
No. When I found the body, it was the other knife that was stuck in it.
Joe Dark's knife.
I couldn't just leave that knife in him, so I took it out and stabbed him with another knife.
And that would be Edgeworth's knife?
That's right. Even though he was already dead, my hands were shaking at the thought of stabbing him. That's why I ended up cutting my hand.
And that is the reason for the bandage on your right hand.
Yes, it seems that I got blood on the victim's shoes as well. And then she saw me just as I plunged the knife in.
Why did you need to hide Dark's knife so badly?
It took a lot of work to finally close the Dark case 2 years ago. It was over with. I didn't ever want it to be opened again. My intent was to prevent that by whatever means possible.
So you hid Dark's knife?
The weapon used to stab the detective was evidence in the Joe Dark case. If word got out, which it would, the reporters would have had a field day with that.
So you wrapped the knife in your scarf and hid it in Edgeworth's exhaust pipe?
Right. Then I called my sister to tell her what happened and to ask her to hide the knife that was inside my muffler.
You asked Emma?
I didn't want anyone on the force to know about this.
That would explain why Emma is so confident about Lana's innocence.
Speaking of phone calls, I had a bad feeling about one of them that day.
A bad feeling?
The truth is, after I received those orders from Chief Gant, the first thing I did was make a phone call. A phone call to Patrolman Jake Marshall.
To Marshall? Why on earth would you call him?
The lead investigator for the SL9 incident had been murdered. I wanted that fact to be kept hidden, and I needed help. He was the only other person I could trust. Or at least, I thought I could trust him at the time. However, it seems that after I spoke to him, he went off on an escapade of his own.
You mean?
Not wanting the case to die, he decided to take things into his own hands.
He disguised himself as Detective Goodman and tried to steal the evidence.
He had already stolen the ID card, but it seems he still hadn't made up his mind to break into the evidence room. After my phone call, any remaining doubts he had must have disappeared.
So your phone call caused the incident in the evidence room?
I'm afraid that's all I can tell you.
But Lana,
You've
didn't—
earned my respect, Mr. Wright, both as a defense attorney and an investigator. Now please, don't pursue this any further in court tomorrow.
Tomorrow's trial. There's only one way to drive off Lana's demons. I've got to get to the bottom of everything. Detective Goodman's real murderer. And what went down in the chief's office 2 years ago.